Oklahoma State taking on Utah. It's in Stillwater. This is one of the biggest games we were talking about preseason in the Big 12 for a couple reasons. One, Oklahoma State has to play Kansas State the week after they play Utah, and Utah doesn't play Kansas State. So there's a lot riding on this game. Obviously, Cam Rising sat out last week for Utah. His status uncertain right now for this one.
Well, David, during the offseason, I picked Oklahoma State to win this game. I thought, this would be a tight game. It could go either way. I got Utah winning the league, but I thought they would drop this game. We talk about how you adjust to the adjustment, right? It's not just how you adjust when you get in. It's how do you adjust when they adjust to you. Oklahoma State returned, 20 starters on both sides of the ball. Heisman hopeful Ollie Gordon. Quarterback that's shaky, throwing the ball consistently in Allen Bowman. Him and Cam Rising, the combined age of the quarterbacks in this game is 49 years old, which is incredible.
The combined age for the Colts and Bears Sunday is 44.
Yeah, so just to put that, it's the Life Alert Bowl. But coming into this year, we all knew what Oklahoma State could do. And Oklahoma State's got a really good wide receiver room. I don't think people realize how talented Stribling, Owens, they got some guys that can really
player,
do it.
Man.
But Oklahoma State, like Blaine brought up, is 100 and something in rushing. They have, we go to the Arkansas game, Arkansas kept them in it, but they're still scoring 40 points a game, which means that Allen Bowman, while he's still not the greatest thrower of the ball, has shown improvement, and they are a threat to throw the ball, especially deep, right? That's where they take a lot of their shots. It's fascinating because this game is the opposite of what I thought it was going to be. Teams have been loading the box against Oklahoma State and daring Bowman to beat them, and he has at some point. But the reason I like Utah in this game is they're not going to be overwhelmed going on the road. Arkansas, I felt like, was in uncharted territory. Like, while we're playing good, we're beating this team on the road, and you find a way to lose the game. This Utah team's old. They're not going to do that. Cam Rising is not going to do that. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way. Utah's going to stop the run, and I don't think they have to load the box. This is my whole point. I think Utah can slow down Ollie Gordon without having to do what Arkansas did and what these other teams have done. Because you'd be dumb not to do what other teams have done against Oklahoma State. But now we're to the point where they've proven they can score on the outside with these wide receivers. Why would you not, with Tafuna and some of the guys that Utah has, say, just like I was talking about Arkansas defensively, why would I not play an even box and be like, we're going to try and stop Ollie Gordon with our guys. You got Barton, you got a linebacker crew that's really good, and make Allen Bowman have to actually not throw against just single coverage, have to really make him work to push this ball down the field and consistently make throws in tight windows. And I don't think he can do it. Then on the other side, I don't think Oklahoma State can stop the run. It's wild. Oklahoma, the best team in the red zone in the country is right now, offensively? It's Utah. Oklahoma State is top 10 in the red zone, defensively. So that's where the push is going to come to shove here. And I think Utah is going to find a way to be able to score touchdowns in the red zone as opposed to kicking field goals or turning the ball over. So this matchup is not like I thought it was going to be going into the year, right? Because Oklahoma State's having more success throwing the ball than I thought they would, even though teams have loaded the box. But if I'm Whittingham and I'm this defensive side of the ball in Utah, you got to prove it to me, dog. Like, we're just going to go even. We're going to play you straight up. I think Utah, again, I think they control the line of scrimmage. The pass protection has been good for Oklahoma State, but I don't know, man. My gut's telling me Utah here.
You got the lines on this game in front of you?
Yeah, it opened up 2.5 Oklahoma State, -2.5. It's now flipped. Utah is now favored 1.5.
It opened up -2.5, and that was just because of the uncertainty of
Cam Rising, I would think.
He's going to play.
And now it's known he's healthy and he will be playing. I mean, you look at this game, Jake, and you hit some phenomenal points. One thing I look at, it's identity to me. I know who Utah is. Mm-hmm. Utah knows who Utah is. Every time you talk about Utah, what do you talk about? When they were in the Pac-12, it's physicality, right? They were the outlier. They were the difference, and that travels no matter what conference you're in. I don't think Oklahoma State knows who they are. The only thing, Ollie Gordon this, Ollie Gordon that, Ollie Gordon, he's averaging nothing, basically nothing, had 40 yards, had 15 carries last game. I trust Utah in big games, and I trust Cam Rising not to make the mistake at a key moment because he's experienced and he's been there. If you can stop the run with an even box, which Utah can because of physicality of Utah, and you can run the ball and put the game situations on your quarterback, I don't know how you don't like Utah in this football game.
Yeah, obviously we can talk about Cam Rising for an entire episode because if Cam Rising plays, I like Utah big. If he doesn't play, it gets a little bit more interesting to me. We were talking about Ollie Gordon, and this happened a little bit last season. Remember, no one was talking about Ollie Gordon at the beginning of the year because he really wasn't even getting the football. Then all of a sudden he reels off like 4 or 5 games in a row 200 plus rushing yards and starts to get everyone's attention. At some point, like, I don't care if they're stacking the box or not. If your identity is to run the football, you need to be more effective than 100.
But David, when they were stacking the box, he was making that, he was breaking 2 tackles and then getting out. They're not doing that.
Exactly, and they're not doing that right now. We'll say one thing, though, that works in Oklahoma State's favor. Utah, without Cam Rising, I know it's different when you're playing, was it Isaac Wilson? I think it was Zach Wilson.
It's Zach Wilson's little brother.
He was efficient, too. But
dude, he didn't look bad. He didn't look bad.
On the defensive side, though, they did give up 21 points to Utah State, and that's a Utah State team that USC beat 48-0. So,
deep shots.
Wondering a little bit, are we going to see this week, like, Utah's defense shows us that, oh yeah, we were that physical team in the Pac-12 that won back-to-back.
Yeah, well, Utah State got them deep in the vertical passing game.
Yeah.
That's where they got them. So again, that's another reason why if I'm Utah, if we struggled a little bit against Utah State on the deep shots, I'm not stacking this box early and getting butt naked out here on the edges with the Cats Oklahoma State guys, and Alan Bowman just got to throw it. 40-year-old Alan Bowman just got to throw it as far as he can down the field and let somebody run under it. One more point to put a bow on this for Utah. I don't think Cam Rising, and they've had some really good players, has had this level of receiving ability around him. I think his average depth of target, when I was looking at the numbers, is almost 13 yards. That's a lot. Like, that means you're letting that thing fly past the first down marker a lot. You got Dorian Singer, you got Keithy, you got Money Parks, you got Landon King. I mean, you got some guys that can really stretch the field, which opens up everything underneath. So I think that's made Utah much more dangerous. Yeah, they're able to run the ball. It's Utah. They're going to be able to run the ball. But now having that caveat of at any point in time, I can put Dorian on the 9 route. I can put Dorian on the post. I can put Dorian and Money together, and we can go post wheel. We can go poco. We can do whatever we want. That's what would scare me as a defensive coordinator, that now you have that you got that last infinity stone if you're Cam Rising. So I like Utah.
It was great to see Brant Keithy healthy again.
I know, man. People forget Brant Keithy
himself
was ahead of Dalton Kincaid. He's playing with the Bills right now.
And you talk about how effective Utah is in the red zone. They're one of the few programs in the country who can legitimately go out on the field and line up in 14 personnel.
Yeah.
They got 4 tight ends who can all play at the same time. When you're on the 15-yard line and defenses are able to restrict in the low red zone, that's an effective tool to be able to utilize.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Make sure you break down that subscribe button like we're breaking down them games, because we know you love it, and we love that you love it.